Doing all this procedure and paying your tax in time by doing all the documentation is called as assessment. Self-assessment, you have written 144B, then this will be wrong. Why? Because writing or quoting wrong section, you will lose marks. Whatever the income proof you have given, you have to prove that it is correct. So the officer will decide whether it is correct or not. That is called best judgment. A warm welcome to one and all. This is your other sir, lecturing Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence. We are discussing your unit number 5, session 1. This is the last unit in your corporate taxation. The unit number 5, it talks about assessment procedure. Now, once you're done with all the taxation, all the calculation, all your income calculation, the deduction and assessment of individual, everything is done. Finally, what you are supposed to do? You have to file your return. You have to pay your tax. So that is called assessment procedure. There are different types of assessment. You need to understand the types of assessment. Now, as per the agenda, we will discuss about types of assessment and assessment procedure. Income tax authority, authorities, power, rights of severity, commissioner and assessing officer. As I told you, in your examination, you may get 115 or 10 mark question that will be on assessment procedure. They will ask you what is assessment procedure and explain the types of assessment procedure. That is the most important for your examination. Now, assessment procedure are types. Under this, the assessment procedure is an instruction and constraints, exact statements for each individual assessment. Physically, the assessment procedure can be maintained for these objects to be assessed together with the corresponding assessment specification. In the simple way, I can tell you what is assessment means. Once you are done with calculation, for example, I'll show you. You have done calculation, income from salary, income from business or profession, income from capital gain, income from house property, and income from other sources. Add everything, you will get total income. From total income, if there are any deductions are there, already you know that which are the deduction. It starts from 80C till 80U minus all the deduction. You will get taxable income or net income. There is a gross income, there is a net income. From taxable income, if you are already paid any TDS minus that, you will get again the taxable income. On that, you can calculate, as you know that first 5 lakh, first 2,50,000, it is nil. Next 2,50,000, it is 5%. Next 5 lakh, it is 20%. And excess amount will be called as 30%, about 10 lakh. These are the calculation you are supposed to do. After doing all the calculation, add 4% education cess. You will get some value. Assume that you will get 25,000 tax payable. This tax payable, you have returns like ITR 1, ITR 2, like that. You have returns with challans. You have to fill that and you have to pay your tax. This is the actual procedure to do all your income tax. Not only calculation of your income, you have to claim your deduction. For example, after doing all the calculation, you got minus 25,000. Means you paid tax extra. Already you paid TDS. Then what you are supposed to do? You have to take for refund. You have to take for refund. All the ITR returns you have to fill. If the excess comes, it will be refunded. If you have deficit, you have to pay that. And you have to link your bank ID and your Aadhaar, everything, PAN number, all this procedure you have to follow. This will be checked by whom? Yes, this will be checked by Income Tax Office. This will be checked by Income Tax Authorities. That is called assessment. Hope you are clear. That is called assessment. Doing all this procedure and paying your tax in time by doing all the documentation is called as assessment. Now we are clear. What do you mean by assessment? Now you understood what is assessment. Now we'll go with types of assessment. There are so many types you have assessment. These are, first one, self-assessment. I'll go in depth individually. Now we will understand what is self-assessment. How many types are there in assessment? You have self-assessment, summary assessment, scrutiny assessment, best judgment assessment, protective assessment, reassessment of income escaping assessment, and assessment in case of search. These are the types of assessment you have. Again, I'll repeat. You have self-assessment, summary assessment, scrutiny assessment, best judgment assessment, protective assessment, reassessment or income escaping assessment, and finally you have assessment in case of search. These are the types of assessment you have. In your examination, they will ask you what is assessment procedure. Explain the types of assessment procedure. This will be your 15-mark question. And these are the types in your examination also. First, you have to write meaning of assessment. Under meaning of assessment, you have to write this meaning. Once you are done meaning of assessment, you have to write types of assessment. Mention all the types. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 types are there. Write all 7 types. Remember, writing sections are not important. If you can remember, write the section. By writing sections, you will not get extra marks. By not writing sections, marks will not be deducted. Hope you are clear. In case self-assessment you have written 144B, then this will be wrong. Why? Because writing or quoting wrong section, you will lose marks. Not writing the section, you will not lose marks. Hope you are clear. It is a simple logic. You write all your answer. Your 10-mark questions, correct. 15-mark questions, correct. 5-mark questions, correct. You expect that you will get out of out. Your register number is 5002. Instead of writing 5002, you have written 5005. Now tell me what happens. Your all the answers are correct? Yes. Your final answer is correct? Yes. You are supposed to get out of out? Correct. What is your register number? Instead of 5002, you have written register number 5005. Will you get marks 100%? No. The marks will go to 5005. Similarly, writing wrong section, remember, writing wrong register number. Your whole answer will be wrong if you write wrong section. If you don't remember, no need to worry. Don't mention the sections. Now, first one, we'll go with self-assessment. Now, if you go to self-assessment, there is a type of income tax assessment in which the assessee calculates the tax himself, usually accompanied by payment of the amount they believe is due. See, this calculation will be done by whom? Himself. You are earning all the income, your salary, rental income, your capital gain, your other source income. yourself, if you have a basic knowledge, sit, check all the classes or all the this one amendments, follow the procedure, calculate and go and pay the tax. Or if you are not aware, if you don't have a knowledge of income tax, hire a auditor will do all the work on behalf of you, and he will say that, sir, you are supposed to pay 7,000 tax, there is a challan number, please make the online payment. You go, you do the online payment. This is called as self-assessment. Hope you are clear. Without taking income tax authority help, yourself or with the help of auditor, filing your own returns and paying your own income tax is called as self-assessment tax. Now, in this, after taking TDS and subtracting advance tax, already I explained you in the previous session. See, after adding everything, minus TDS, if advance tax is paid, that also minus, do all the calculation. That is a procedure to calculate your income tax. After taking TDS and subtracting advance tax paid, tax payable is required to be given under section 139, section 142, section 148 or section 153. What are these sections? These sections regarding the assessment and payment of tax. Hope you are clear with self-assessment. Now, we'll come to second one, summary assessment. What do you mean by summary assessment? The assessment under section 143, subsection 1, is similar to the initial review of your tax return. The taxpayer receives an intimation from the IRS. Under this section, the department will send you a comparative income tax calculation. The overall income or loss incurred is computed in the income tax assessment. It is very simple actually. It is almost similar to self-assessment, but this is summary assessment. What do you mean by summary assessment? Means initial review will be done by the income tax authority, and if they found that there are some mistakes are there, your calculation is wrong, then what they do, they will send you a intimation. These are the changes you are supposed to do. You have taken 10% tax instead of 12%. You have taken 5 lakh income instead of 8 lakh, and you have claimed TDS of 10,000 instead of 7,000. These are the changes they will send you with the help of intimation. Now, after that, this section, the department will send you a comparative income tax calculation. They will say that this is your calculation. This is a model of calculation. Compare these two and re-verify your calculation and resend this. This is called summary assessment. Hope you are clear. It is very simple. In a simple language, I can tell you, you have written your answer script. I feel that your answer script is wrong. What I can do, the person who scored 100 out of 100, that answer script, I'll send it to you. You compare your answer with this answer. Hope you are clear. That we call it as summary assessment. You are clear with self-assessment. You are clear with summary assessment. Now I'll go to the next one, scrutiny assessment. Scrutiny means, always remember, in depth. In depth means in depth they go and they verify. That is called scrutiny assessment. Now, scrutiny assessment is the assessment of return filed by an assessee by providing an opportunity for the assessee to support the declared income and expenses as well as claims of deductions, losses, exemption and so on in the return using proof. The committee management is using single work plan. The committee undertakes specific work as well as performing informal panel for in-depth. As I told you, see, in-depth activities are working groups. Hope you are clear with the concept. Scrutiny assessment is the assessment of a return filed by the assessee by providing opportunity for the assessee to support the declared income and expenses as well as claims of deduction losses. It is very simple. Assume that you have already done all the calculation. You sent a report to the income tax office and you paid the income tax also. But somebody complained. Somebody complained. It is very simple. In a simple logic, I'll tell you. You have written your answer script. Yes. It is already valued and corrected. Yes. You scored 100 out of 100. Yes. The person sitting next to you in the examination, he says that, sir, he has written wrong answer. You have given him 100 out of 100. Or, sir, he has copied from somebody or someone. That's why he got 100 out of 100. Then what the income tax people will do? They will take this paper again. They will re-verify. They check one by one. They will give it to another 2-3 people to re-verify. And they will check the paper with all the surrounded students. If anything is copied, if anything is wrong, they will check and they will ask for the proof. Give me all the documents. How did you write this? Give me all the documents. How did you earn this income? How did you claim this as deduction? All this procedure they do, in depth, they will go and check. That is called scrutiny assessment. Hope you are clear what is scrutiny. In depth, they will come and check. It is nothing but CID job. What CID does, they will go and verify everything from the scratch. They will go and check. That is called scrutiny assessment. Now, once you are done with this scrutiny, now we are clear with self-assessment, summary assessment, scrutiny assessment. Now the next one, best judgment assessment. Now, the term best judgment assessment refers to the assessing officer opinion or calculation of the assessee's income in the context of income tax law. In the situation of best judgment assessment, the evaluating officer will make the decision based on the best reasoning. It is very simple. Whatever the income proof you have given, you have to prove that it is correct. So, the officer will decide whether it is correct or not. That is called best judgment. Assessment refers to assessing officer opinion or calculation of the assessee's income in the context of income tax law. So, it is very simple. The assessing officer will keep the income tax law with him, compare with the calculation you have done. And he will give one opinion. That is called best judgment assessment. He will take a decision. It is very simple. If you go to some singing show, dancing show, your dance and singing talent will be judged by whom? Yes, will be judged by expert judges because they know in and out of that particular thing. That's why the officer will check whether you have done properly as per the income tax rule says, whatever they says, whether you have done or not. For example, I'll give you. Now, what 80C says, what is the maximum deduction you can claim? Yes, you can claim up to 1,50,000. Assume that while doing deduction, you have taken 1,70,000. This will be wrong. This will be checked by this expert. That is called best judgment assessment. Now, you have learned the first one, self-assessment, second one, summary, third one, scrutiny, and the fourth one, best judgment assessment. Now, protective assessment, and the next one is protective assessment. This is a type of assessment that focuses on those that are made to protect the revenue's interest. Now, in this, protective means this type of assessment that focuses on those that are made to protect the revenue. Now, in this, all the tax goes to whom? Government. So tax is calculated on what? People assesses income or revenue. If his income is 10 lakh, if he shows only 8 lakh, so what is the loss? 2 lakh worth is lost to whom? Government. Hope you are clear. Usually what happens, there are many street vendors are there, like just go with Golgappa Wala. Okay, if assume that the chat center Golgappa Wala is earning good money, the person who is working in company, his salary is 45,000. He has to pay tax. Why? Because all the payment through online, and this amount will be paid tax. All the TDS will be deducted, PF will be deducted, all the professional taxes will be deducted. So finally he will get 38,000 and the tax will be paid. He will come under advance tax, he will come under TDS, all kinds of tax will be paid. The same thing, if you go to some Golgappa Wala, per day he earns 3,000. Per day he earns. After deducting all his expenses, his income is 3,000. Into 30 days. What is his income? 90,000 per month. Golgappa Wala earns how much? 90,000 per month if he stays in a popular place. Now, what is the income of the officer? 45,000. Whether he is paying tax? Yes, he is paying TDS, he is paying advance tax, he is paying professional tax. His income is double than this officer. He is paying tax? No. Why? Because there is no proof of his income. Everybody comes, they pay him 30 rupees and no bill for this. Like that 100 people will come, pay 30, 3,000 he earns. That is a reason to safeguard the revenue. We have protective assessment, but it is impossible to make him to pay tax. Why? Because whatever income he earns, it cannot come to the government. Why? Because he is a street vendor, there is no bill, there is no documentation of his income. Once you are done with protective, next one, reassessment income, escaping assessment income. We call it as reassessment or escaping assessment. Now, if the assessing officer has reason to think that income liable to pay tax has escaped assessment for any assessment year, they will conduct an income escaping assessment under section. It is very simple. 2023-24, you filed, return and paid tax. 2024-25, you filed, return and paid tax. 2025 and 26, returns not filed, tax not paid. What government will do? These 2 years he paid tax and this year he is not paid tax, means he is escaping from paying tax. Again I will repeat, he is escaping from paying tax. Then what government will do? They will go with reassessment or income escaping assessment. So hope you are clear. Yes. So assessment in case of search or seize. Now it is very simple. They will come and search for the document, or they will come and search for your receipt or purchase orders or sales orders. With that, they will check whether you have escaped, whether you have hidden any income. That is called assessment in case of search. Now, assessing officer will do the following in types of income tax assessment. Serving such person notice requires furnishing within the time frame mentioned in the notice clause referred to the income tax return for each of 6 assessment year. See, once you are done with your all the calculation, all your tax liability, remember up to 6 years you have to keep those books to audit purpose. Hope you are clear. So that in within 6 years, anytime the income tax authority can come and ask for the document. Now, this is all about your assessment types. As you know that you already learned the assessment, self-assessment, summary assessment, scrutiny assessment, assessment of this one, what is it? The previous one, search, assessment of your reassessment, and protective assessment, and best judgment assessment. All the 7 assessment you have learned. Please remember, as I told you, 100% question for your examination. Now, once you are done that, income tax authority powers and functions. So this is also one of the most important. You know that we have an income tax authority like Central Board of Direct Tax. We call it as CBDT. CBDT stands for Central Board of Direct Tax. Now, what are the powers they have usually? The Central Board of Direct Taxes, Director General of Income Tax, Chief Commissioner, Directors. See, these are the income tax authorities. The first one will go with authorities. Easy to remember actually. One is Central Board of Direct Tax, 2. Then Directors General of Income Tax, Chief Commissioner. Then Directors of Income Tax, Commissioner of Income Tax, Additional Directors of Income Tax, Joint Directors of Income Tax, Deputy Directors. See, I'll tell you the logic, how to remember. If it is a 2-mark question, just you have to remember directors. See, Directors of Income Tax, Commissioners of Income Tax, Additional Directors of Income Tax, then Joint Directors of Income Tax, Deputy Directors of Income Tax. See, all your 5 points done. Again, Assistant Directors of Income Tax, done. You almost 6 to 7 points by writing income tax. Everywhere income tax, prefix will be Joint Director, Deputy Director, Additional Director, and Commissioner Director. All these are your point. Income Tax Officer, Recovery Officer, Inspector. Hope you are clear. Yes, I'll go to the next one. Powers of Income Tax Authority. See, you're working in Income Tax Office. What are the powers you have on the assessee? The first one, you have power relating to discovery, production, and evidence. You can go and ask for the evidence. You showed that you paid 10,000 for LIC. Show me the 10,000 slip or your online mode of payment. Next, power of search and seizure. For example, the assessee is not giving any documents. You can go and seize the branch or head office. Then, requisition of books of accounts. Being an income tax officer, you can go and request or go and order to collect the books. Power to call for information. Assume that all the documents cannot be get from the company, from the outsiders, creditors, debtors, banks. From there also they can collect. Power of survey. They have all the rights to do survey. Then collection of information. They can collect all the information. Next, power to inspect registers of companies. So they can go to company, they can see all the registry, including attendance book, they can check. Yeah, this is all about your today's session. It is all about assessment and powers and duties of officers. Now, all the assessment, as I told you, the meaning of assessment, types, and you have to go with the authorities, and then you have to go with the powers and duties of officers. So these are the most important for your examination. Please study all the study material. Thank you.